welcome to Block 6, and Block 6 is called Beautiful Basketry. This is a lot of fun to do. You've got a few new things that you're going to do this time. Not new stitches, but just a different way of using those stitches. So I really encourage you, I remember when I was doing the filming, that I've used markers. I really encourage you to use markers so you know exactly where to put your hook. So you don't get lost, so you know where the top of the stitch is and the stem of the stitch. But I'll let Tony explain better that to you.
Oh, well, thank you, young lady. Out of the frying pan into the fire. Today, when you get your pattern and your yarn and you start working on this block, you will be learning how to do front post and back post stitches. And working post is working around the post of the stitch, so you don't actually work into the top of the stitch. So to date, for this Afghan, you've only worked in the top of stitches for all the patterns that you've done so far. And this block, you'll be working around the post of a stitch. Now, I highly recommend that you use your markers. So having said that, this is how the block looks. So this is Beautiful Basketry. And the post stitches are these stitches that sit up. I don't know that you can see from here, but they sit high, they sit proud of the work, so it gives you texture. So that's why I've called it basketry, because basketry sits proud of the surface. If you look at baskets, the weave is often sitting over the top when you're looking at the way a lot of the baskets are made. The patterning is on the surface or on the exterior. The inside of a basket is nice and smooth, but the patterning of a basket will be on the outside. So the other side of this block is nice and smooth, but this side of the block is quite textured and quite interesting. So you'll do front post and back post, and you'll also learn how to do a treble. So far you've done a double crochet where you wind the yarn around the hook once. You'll do a treble where you wind the yarn around the hook twice. So in the US terms, that's wound around twice. So in a UK term, that's round twice, and they call that a double treble. Right, so for those of you that are used to UK terminology. All right, so once you've established your pattern, it's really just a 2-row repeat until you get to the end, and then you just work around like you do with all the other blocks, and then you just block it to shape. So hopefully you will enjoy it. Okay.
See you next time.
Okay, see you next month.
Okay, so this is Block 6, which is Beautiful Basketry. So in preparation for starting, I've just done a chain of 44, commencing with a slip stitch at the bottom there. So I've got 44 chain here. So row 2 says we make 3 double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So that's 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th. Double crochets 1 yarn over the hook into there, and we're doing 3 double crochets. So 1. Oh, sorry, I should have moved a bit. There we go. 3. There we go. So then the instruction says skip the next 2 chain and 1 double crochet in each of the next 2. So that's 1 chain and 2. So we're doing 1 double crochet in here and 1 in the next one. So that's what that instruction means. Right. Then we're going to skip the next 2 chain again, 1, 2, and we're going to do 3 double crochet in the first chain and then 3 double crochet in the next. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then the next chain is here. It can be sometimes tricky to see what the next chain is because when you've worked it's pulled out, but if you look, there's your stitches in there, so you know the next one needs to be in here, but not in there. You need to make sure you go down in there. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. All right. So your work will look something like this. So we're just going to repeat this all the way along the row, or all the way along the chain. So we're going to skip 2, so that's 1, 2, and then we're going to do 1 in this one, and 1 double crochet in this one here. Skip 2 again, 1, 2, and 3 in this one. That's 3. In this one, and we'll just skip to the end of this row with the magic of video technology and get ready to show you the end of the row. Yeah, so then we're going to skip, yeah, there. Then we're going to skip the next 2 chains. So we're at the end of the row, honey. So we skip we do 2 here, then we're going to skip the next 2, and we're going to do 3 double crochet in this one spot here. That's 1, 2, 3, and then 1 in your very last one. All right. There. So that's the end of your row. And if we lay this out so you can see it, you can see we've got the 3 chain here, which represents a double crochet, and then you've got 3 in 1 here, and then at the other end you've got your double crochet and the 3 in the 1. All right. Then you've got these little groups of 6 here and 2 here, 6 here, 2 here, 6 and 2, all the way along. Okay, so now we turn the work, and make sure the yarn's at the back. Rightio. So this is where we're going to start doing your front post trebles. All right. So first instruction is chain 3. And then we're going to double crochet in the next double crochet. So not this one. This one has got these 3 chain in it, which means that represents the double crochet that would normally sit in the top of that. So now we're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch. Okay. And if you look at your work, you can see you've got these 2 double crochets sitting there on their own in between these islands of 6. This first one here, this first double crochet in this cluster of 2 there, you can see that all right? This is where we're going to do our first front post treble. So to do a treble, remember you do 2 wraps around your hook, and to do a front post you put your hook in from the front, around the post here, yarns at the front of the work, and we wrap that around like that. So I've now got 4 loops on my hook, and you can see that yarn is wrapped around the post, not in the top of the stitch, but around that post. So we're going to do a yarn around the hook again and pull that through. So that's 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 movements. That's a treble. So then the instruction says that you need to work 2 double crochets in that same stitch. So to read the instruction, it says to do a front post treble and 2 double crochets in this stitch here. So you would look at that and go, well, where am I doing this stitch? Well, if we wind the yarn around the hook and roll the work forward, you can see there's the top So that's the stitch, and that's the top of the stitch. So this and this are all the one stitch. It just looks a bit funny now because we've done this front post treble over it. So this is a double crochet. So yarn on the hook once into here and do your double crochet, and another one in the same spot. Then the next instruction says to do 2 double crochets and a front post treble in the next stitch. So you're doing it in the reverse order. So we're going to go into the top of the stitch and do your double crochet and another double crochet. Then we're going to do another front post treble. So yarn around the hook twice, into from the front, round the back. So we've got the whole leg of the stitch, or the post of the stitch, sitting on the hook. Yarn over and pull that through. So now I have 4 on my hook, and we yarn over and pull through once, twice, 3 times, and that's your treble. Can you see now how those stitches, oh here we go, I'll lay it down here. So you can see this one is your front post stitch. Here are your 2 double crochets, then you've done 2 double crochets and a front post stitch, and see how that makes that sit like this. Alright, okay, so next instruction says to skip the next 2 stitches, so that's this one and this one, and we're going to work a double crochet in here and a double crochet in here. Then we're going to skip the next 2, which is these 2, and then we're back to that little grouping of 2 on its own, and we're going to repeat this step here. So yarn round twice, in from the front, scoop up the post of the stitch, yarn around and pull the yarn through. So we've got 4 loops on the hook, and we're going to pull through once, twice, 3 times for your treble. Remember, roll you, if you look at it and go, I can't see where I'm going, roll that up and you can see there's the top of the stitch. So if I sit that down there, does that help? Put that in there, yarn round and pull it through, and we're doing 2 double crochet in here. 1, 2, then we're going to do another double crochet in the next one and another one, and then the treble again from the front. So there's your post, we're going into the space, scoop up the post, around and pull that through. Once, twice and 3 times. Alright, you can see how that's going along. So we're going to repeat this until we get to the end of the row, and I'll show you what to do. 1, 2. So we're at the last part of your row, and you'll see that we've now got these 3 and the 4th, which is your 3 chain here, which represents a double crochet. So to end the row, it's very simple. It's this, the repeat that you've done here. So you miss the next 2 stitches, and we're going to go into that one and do a double crochet, and into your last one here and do a double crochet, and then we'll turn the work. That's the end of your row. Okay, so I'll just take the hook out and lay that flat so we can have a look at it for you. So if you look at this, you can see that we're doing groups of 6 and 2 again. So remember the first row, if I turn that over, we did 4 at the end and 4 at this end, and then we did 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. And if you look at the work from the back, where's the thing? If you look here, you can see these little wraps here around the posts of the stitches. So if you look here, this is a post with no wraps around it, and this is a post with wraps around it. These wraps are from this front post stitch. So that's how that looks on the back of the work. All right. On the right side of the work, you can see we have all this lovely textured work happening. And these are your front posts, trebles here, with your double crochets all tucked in beside, right, with 2 in between. So the first row was 3s and 6s, 2s and 6s, sorry, and the second row is 2s and 6s. So we're using the same number, we're just working them in a different way. Okay, so this row we're going to be looking at the back post stitch. So this is row 4, so we're doing 3 chain to start with, and then we're going to do 2 double crochet and a back post treble into this stitch. So yarn on the hook and do 2 double crochet here. That's 1, 2, and making sure we keep the yarn at the back, so behind the work. You're going to wind your yarn around twice, and instead of going in from the front like we did for the front post, we're going to bring the hook round the back of the work and bring it through to the front, over the top of that, turn, roll the work and pull that yarn through so we can see it. Yep. But don't worry, I'll be doing it a number of times so you can see it. So that's 2, that's 3, right? Then your next instruction says to miss 2 and do 2 double crochet here. 1, 2. Right. Then you look along and you can see you've got your next 2 double crochets in group there. We're going to do a back post treble here. So the hook, the yarn is wrapped around twice. Put the hook in from behind, around the front. You can turn it so you can see what you're doing if you want. And if you want to, you can hold that down with your thumb, scoop up the yarn and bring it through. See how we're working on the back, or is the back of this row, right? Yarn over and we're going to pull through 1, 2, 3. Yep. Then we're going to do 2 double crochet in this stitch. So remember, this is all the same stitch. So then the next stitch we're going to do 2 double crochet and then another back post treble. So yarn around twice from behind the work because it's the back, into the back, scoop up the yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull through once, twice, and that's 3 times. Miss the next 2 stitches and do 2 double crochet here. And I'll work one more set and then I'll turn the work over so you can see the magic. So we're going to do another back post treble from behind, yarn at the back, pull through once, twice, 3 times, then 2 into the same stitch, 1, 2, and 2 into this one, 1, 2, yarn round twice, in from the back, into that way, pull it round there, yarn over and pull through 3 times. Skip 2, and 1, 2. Now I'm going to pull my thread along and turn that over so you can see. So this is how it looks on the back. Okay, so this is your back post stitch here, and these are your 2 groups of 2 in the 1 stitch. Then there's your 2 stitches that you've done in between these groups. Now when we turn this over, you can see this is your back post stitch that you've just done. You see this creates this beautiful, what would you call it, a zigzag type look with these lovely groupings here. Alright, so that's why we use a back post, because there's definitely a right side and a wrong side in this block. 1, 2, that's 3, oh back. Okay, so now we're just about at the end of our row, and I'm going to do a back post treble around this one. Actually, before I do, I'll show you the end of the row. So we've done the 2 here in this cluster of 6, remembering this is the last of the cluster of 6. So this one and this one represent the same as these 2 here. So we're going to do back post treble around that one here, so that's 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do 2 into the same stitch, 1, 2, and then 1 in the last stitch, which is the 3 chain from the other row. Alright, so that's the end of your row, like that, and then when we turn the work, that's how it looks. That's coming along quite nicely. So next row is row 5, and row 5 is very similar to row 3. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3 chain, and we're going to double crochet into the next stitch here. And if you look at your work, you can see you've got these 2 here on your own, and you're going to work a front post treble and 2 double crochet into this stitch. So that's your front post treble, double crochet twice, then we'll double crochet twice in this one, which is your next one there, and then we're going to do a front post treble. So yarn around twice from the front, underneath, yarns on the front of the work, see, yarns here. Might look like I'm working on the back because I'm holding it here, but the yarn's actually at the front of the work. Pull that through there like that, and once, twice, whoops, don't split the yarn, and 3 times. And the next action, we miss these 2, and we're going to do a double crochet in here and a double crochet in here. Yarn around twice, and we're going to do a front post treble around this one, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 double crochet in the same stitch, then 2 double crochet in the next, as well as a treble, front post treble. So this is the top of this stitch. I'm going to do front post treble, so in from the front, around the back and out the front again, yarn at the front, pull it through, yarn over, pull through once, twice and 3 times. Miss the next 2, and we're going to do 2 here. And I'm going to go along here and use front post treble here, 2 double crochet in the same stitch, 2 double crochet in the next, 1, 2, and a front post treble. There we go. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, these 2 and 2 double crochet. We've worked our pattern all the way along, and you can see how that's all coming along. So the next row, you'll be doing your back post ones into here. Yeah. Okay, so now we're at the end of the row. We're going to do our last 2 double crochet. So yarn over, we miss this stitch and this stitch, and we're going to do a double crochet in here and a double crochet in the top of the stitch there, which is your 3 chain. Yep. You can see we have 2 here, and then a cluster, a grouping, 2, a grouping, 2, grouping, 2, grouping, 2, grouping, and 2. So you'll just repeat that all the way along the block and then finish round the edges as you've done before. Now, before I go, I just wanted to show you today that I've bought 2 of the same block. One has been blocked, as in, you know, steamed out or stretched out to the right size. So that's my first one. And this grey one hasn't been blocked. So you can see the difference that your blocking can make. All right, so it's a little bit different. Can you see that from there? I just thought that would be good to do. So, and I've not laid them the right way. So that's how they go. See, so you can see it pulls out to make it square. I just thought I'd show you so that you don't despair when your blocks aren't the right size when you finish your work. All right, okay, I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching.